Our first main trailer for Avengers Endgame has landed, seemingly out of nowhere. We've got a bunch of old clips from past films and trailers, but a bunch of new stuff here too, so let's break it all down. The first part of our trailer is predominantly clips from older MCU films, gripping us right from the very beginning. This reminds us of what's past before we jump into what's to come, kind of bookending this movie by showing us the beginning before we reach the end. With rumors that this movie will have a time travel element to it, it's also possible that we'll be revisiting events of these past films, with these clips kind of building a bridge between the films. We've got a new look at Clint Barton here, spending some bonding time with what I think might be his family. He seems pretty happy here, so there's every possibility that this is a flashback scene before the snap. Also remember that we haven't seen yet how the snap affected Barton or where he was when it happened. In the next shot, we get a pretty different looking Hawkeye, or Ronin as he is here, who looks like he's ready to go out for some revenge. Perhaps he has taken on the mantle of Ronin to avenge the death of his family, who we can assume have all been wiped out. Although, going back to this shot, it is possible that Clint is training up Kate Bishop, or the MCU equivalent of Kate Bishop, to be the new Hawkeye in the MCU. Is this his daughter, or is it a completely new character? I'd like to think that it is his daughter, but I think maybe this character is a little bit too old. We get another round table between Avengers members here, delivering that line from the previous trailer, "Some forget, but not us," before they explain how they're going to avenge the deaths of all those people around the universe. Most interesting to note here is Natasha's red roots coming through her dyed blonde hair, another indicator that this movie is taking place over a decent amount of time, especially compared to other shots of Natasha in the trailer where her hair is completely different. There is a shot here of Scott Lang appearing fairly distraught as he looks at missing persons posters. Remember that he was stuck in the quantum realm when the decimation took place, so here we're most likely seeing his first reactions to the event when he somehow manages to get himself back to Earth. There's an interesting shot here of a Quinjet flying into New York. Could this be Tony and Nebula returning to Earth? And again, another shot here of Natasha and Clint, with Natasha's red roots once again on display. There's a lot of emotion between the shots of these two in the trailer. We gotta remember that these characters have been friends and co-workers for a very long time, especially more so than any of the other Avengers. They have a huge history here, so this is going to be a very, very personal mission for the both of them. Is it possible that they are playing on the relationship, the friendship between these characters, so then we can spin off into that Black Widow solo movie, which Hawkeye could very likely appear in? There are some great action shots here. Clint running down a red hallway before an explosion rockets him forward. I'm unsure where this is, but it seems like it could be on some kind of spacecraft, perhaps the same that Thor was on in the first Endgame trailer. Then we come to this awesome shot of Rocket and War Machine teaming up. It's a very unlikely pairing, but I love it. And yes, Rocket appears in his classic comic suit here. I incorrectly called this out as a Pym suit in the last trailer breakdown that I did, but I'm very happy to concede defeat on this one now that we get a better look at it in a better light. I have to say, this looks incredible. There's a few reactionary shots of various Avengers at the Avengers facility here too, including Scott Lang. There's a shot of Thor and the Stormbreaker, which almost looks ripped direct from the Wakanda battle from Infinity War, in that moment where he first lands. Is there a possibility that we revisit the battle in this film? Perhaps the Avengers attempt the fight again, and this time Thor, I don't know, maybe goes for the head or something. There's a shot of Nebula gearing up for battle, I'm assuming on Titan. Does another threat pose a danger for her and Tony on this alien planet? Though it is interesting that this next shot of Cap appears to be in the same location and perhaps the same battle, judging by the colorscape of this shot here. There is, of course, every possibility that there is a lot of misdirection going on here, and these background plates could be changed in the final film itself. Then there is Ant-Man running through the rubble of what looks like some massive battle as well, but again, perhaps this is some kind of explosion that rips through the Avengers facility. Take note of the pencils and the auxiliary cables here. This is definitely an indoor setting, not an outdoor setting. We then rocket into this amazing shot of the Avengers suited up in Pym suits, most likely ready to head into the quantum realm to somehow travel through time or alter the course of reality in one way or another. We've even got Tony here, suited up and ready for battle. Remember the last trailer? Everyone was losing their minds over the gap in the lineup. Looks like Tony is the one that's missing from this shot. You will also note Nebula standing right behind Tony here. This is definite confirmation that both Tony and Nebula will make it back to Earth to assist the Avengers somehow. Great to know that we'll see Tony especially teaming up with Cap and the rest of the Avengers for the first time in years. Once again, take note of Natasha's hair in this one, most likely pointing to Tony and Nebula arriving back to Earth somewhere towards the film's second or third act. And of course, there is this fantastic comedic stinger at the end here with Thor facing off against Captain Marvel. It's great to see that these two start off on friendly terms, even though Thor does give her a little bit of a sizing up, especially since Captain Marvel seems to be the only Avenger so far to match the strength of Thor. I cannot wait to see these two team up as unstoppable allies and not as hot-headed adversaries like Tony and Cap have been this whole series. I have also already seen the Captain Marvel haters spewing crap about her in this trailer already. Of course, there's the standard, "Oh man, she's not smiling in this trailer either, look at that dull expression" lines coming out, but Thor is, he's literally giving her the exact same look back as he sizes her up. Look, literally the same look. I mean, come on guys, have you got a problem with Thor too? Regardless, once again take note of Natasha's hair here. It's the same hair that she's seen with in Infinity War and in the Captain Marvel post-credits stinger. Very likely that this scene takes place closer to the beginning of the film, meaning that not only will Captain Marvel appear at the Avengers facility fairly close to the start, but so will Thor. We get no Thanos in this trailer, but we get a small glimpse of him in the movie's awesome new poster as all the Avengers rally together to take him on one final time. Awesome to see these guys suited up and working together. What's very exciting is not only seeing Captain Marvel depicted for the first time in the Avengers roster, but also to see Ant-Man, Okoye, Rocket, and Nebula here as well. It's interesting that Bruce Banner doesn't appear in Hulk form on this poster or in any of the trailers. We know from leaked artwork that he will take on Hulk form in this film at some point, but we don't know this on an official level yet. So it's interesting to see them downplaying this in all of the movie's publicity. Also, Captain Marvel appears here in the same suit from the Captain Marvel film, despite appearing in the end credits scene of that movie with a shiny new suit with gold accents. I love seeing Cap in his scaled armor for the first time officially as well. And finally, let's take a look at the newly revealed synopsis for the film, direct from Disney, which states, "The grave course of events set in motion by Thanos that wiped out half the universe and fractured the Avengers ranks compels the remaining Avengers to take one final stand in Marvel Studios' grand conclusion to 22 films, Avengers Endgame." Again, not much here that we didn't know already, but it's compelling to see Marvel note the film as the grand conclusion to the saga, which sees the Avengers take one final stand. Really sounds like this movie is going to put a definite full stop to the end of this saga before the future of the MCU sees us exploring various different times, places, and story arcs. And at that, it's over to you guys out there. What did you think of this trailer? I personally loved it in all its simplicity. It gave away just enough without giving away too much. And I don't want to see anything else until I walk into the cinemas next month. Fire away in the comments below and let me know your thoughts. If this is your first time viewing one of my videos, you like what you've seen, you'd like to see more like this in the future, then please don't forget to hit that big old subscribe button up on your screen right now, and also hit that like button down below if you're feeling extra generous. Also, don't forget to check out my many social media accounts, and please consider supporting me over on Patreon. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day.